So Slack is an online tool that we are going to be using for communication for the statewide team. It's a cloud-based communication tool. It's going to allow for statewide two-way communication for the entire JMG team. And I guess realistically, it's going to be more than two-way. It's back and forth. You can communicate with everyone. It's a really easy way to share information, making information easy to find, and then also easy to share. The goal is not to make your life more confusing by having one more thing you need to check or one more thing to keep track of, but rather to streamline all of the JMG communication towards this one channel or this one tool so that when you're looking for something, you know where to go, and we'll go through how to find content, how to post content, and how to keep up on what's going on. So right now, I'm going to ask that if you have some way to go ahead and log into Slack right now, that you can go ahead and do that if you haven't done so already, so that as I'm going through and showing how to do different things, you can go ahead and try it on your own and then ask questions, as issues come up today. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute for a minute just to see if we have any questions before we get started and dive into this. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute. Go ahead if you have any questions. All right, does anyone have any questions before we get started today? Okay, so go ahead and sign in to your Slack page or your login. You're going to go to jobsformigrads.slack.com is the website we're using. It'll be your email address and then whatever password you originally set up for the account. I know we had a couple issues with some people where the email address linked to their account is no longer their current email address. So it will still be whatever that original email address was, but I can also go over how to update that on your profile. So go ahead and log in. If you have questions as we're going, feel free to post them into the chat box. I'll do my best to answer those. So today we're going to go over the four main components of Slack. I'm just going to go over these briefly in this PowerPoint, and then I'll switch to a live view so I can show you what I'm clicking as we're going along. So there are four main components to Slack, the first being channels, direct messages, private channels, and group messages. So I'll go over what we can use each of those for. So on Slack, one of the terms you're going to hear us refer to a lot is channels. Channels are just different groups you can chat in. They each have a different purpose, so it's important to notice which channel you're currently clicked into so that you are using the appropriate channel for the intended audience and for the intended topic. So there's a bunch of channels. You just join whichever ones you want to be in, and I'll go over how to do that a little later. Next is direct messages. So channels, unlike channels which are open to everyone, direct messages are like a private chat with anyone that you choose to talk to. So they're helpful to replace short emails or to ask a quick question. They're only viewable by the person you are having that message with. So the statewide team can't see them, no one else can see them. It's just between you and whoever it is that you're sending that message to. Okay, next is private channels. So this is kind of a mix between a channel and a direct message. So a private channel can be set up. Anyone is able to set up a private channel. And they're indicated by a little lock signal. So you can see on the screen there, the JMG statewide team has a private channel that we use solely for communication just among the statewide team. I would recommend that managers set these up for their individual sites so that you can use this tool within your organization as well as with the statewide team. Okay, and then the last one that I didn't hit on was group messages, which is basically just like the direct messages, except you can add more than one person. So it's like a group chat. All right, one thing, you don't have to go ahead and do it right now, but sometime today or over the next couple of days, I would like you to go ahead and update your profile in Slack. So I have a couple screenshots here to show you, and then I'll walk through how to do it on the actual website. If you click on your name on the left-hand side, go to View Profile and Account, then you are able to edit. So it would be helpful if everyone can ensure that their name is spelled correctly, that their current phone number is listed, correct email address is listed, and then there's also a spot you can put in your job title. So it'll be really helpful for communicating amongst the whole statewide group of Jobs for Michigan's graduates if everyone has their job title in there. For mine, I included at the end that I'm part of the statewide team. So if you want to include the location that you're located at, that would be helpful. So this information on your personal profile is viewable to everyone in JMG. There is a Slack app, so if you're not at your computer a lot, or if you have an iPad instead of a desktop, if you use your phone a lot, you can download the apps for that. There's currently iOS and Android apps, and you can set them to not allow push notifications. So if you're worried about not wanting to be bothered when you're at home or on the weekends, that's an option also. So I'm going to go ahead, unmute for any quick questions, and then I'll dive into the live view of the screen where I can walk you through some different steps. So like I said, go ahead, I'm going to unmute. Let me know if you have any questions over the stuff we've gone over so far. Are there any questions at this time?
Nope.
Okay, then we will just go ahead. What you can see up on the screen here is what I see right when I log into Slack. I'm going to back up a minute. I'm just going to go ahead and log myself out, log back in so that you can view the whole process. Hopefully everyone is logged in at this point, but so you'll go ahead and log in, and the first screen that's going to show up, it should automatically take you to the channel. You can see over on the left-hand side is the list of channels. You probably won't have as many listed as I do, but everyone should have at least the channel titled General and the channel titled Random. So I can go over how to add additional channels in a minute, but you'll automatically go into the General channel. You can see here, it's basically just a chat room, essentially. You can see who has posted something, what they posted. You can scroll back and view older information. As I mentioned earlier, it's important to make sure that you're posting stuff under the appropriate channel. So if you look up here on the very top, it shows right here that I am in the general group, and it says next to it, company-wide announcements and work-based matters. You can also move a little further over into the upper right-hand side, just to the left of the search bar. There's a little blue circle with the letter I, a lowercase I. If you can click on that, this will show you information about this channel. So if you're not sure what you're supposed to post here or who's in this group, you can view that here. So like I said, it's the little blue circle to the left hand of the search bar in the upper right hand corner. So you can see here all the information about this general channel. So if you click channel details, this will show you the purpose of the channel, what the current topics are, and what the purpose of it is. You can also see who created this channel. So this channel was created by Kristen back in September. Below that, there's a feature on Slack where you're able to pin items. So that could be a document that's important for this channel or a photo that's important for this channel. This one currently doesn't have any pinned. Below that, you will see the list of members. So there are currently 20 people logged into Slack. You can see the list of people. The green dot indicates that they are currently logged on and active. So the 20 is how many are active, 55 is how many people total have joined this channel, but only 20 of them are currently online. So I see a lot of the people that are in the webinar are the people who are online right now, so that's great. You can scroll through if you're curious about who else is in this channel. You can see that down on the side. Below members, you can see any files that have ever been shared on this channel. So that's if someone posts a photo or if they post a document. So if you're looking for something that has been posted on here previously, this is a good place to look rather than scrolling through the whole feed trying to find something. There's also an option for notification preferences here. So you can edit your notification preferences right there on the side under the About section. I'm going to go ahead and hit the X in the upper right hand corner to close out of that. So some examples of stuff that would be posted in the general section. Kristen has posted several updates. She just posted one earlier today about a Senate bill that's currently under consideration. Scrolling back up through just general comments. Like I said, this is a channel that's open to the entire statewide group. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing what to post on there. Over on the left-hand side is the list of channels, as I mentioned earlier. To add a new channel, you click where it says channels at the very top, and it will take you to this page where you're able to browse all of the currently active channels. So I am actually in all of the channels right now, so it doesn't give me an option to add one, but yours on the left-hand side, if there's a group you're not currently in, it will give you the option to add. You can also see how many people are currently in that channel. So, for example, there's a channel, the alternative model. So this, if you are currently running an alternative program, you would want to join this channel, and this is where any discussion having to do specifically with the alternative model would take place. So you can go ahead and join channels there. Like I said, you can also see how many people are in that channel. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. When a channel has new content posted to it, content you have not seen yet, it will show up bolded. So right now, alternative model is highlighted in green because that's the one I'm currently clicked on. But I can see that the channel about the CDC has some new information in it. So if you go ahead and click on it, you can see it's highlighted green now. That means that's the channel I'm in, and that the bold letters go away because now I'm up to date on that content. There's nothing new since I clicked on it. So you can see I would recommend everyone join this channel. It's where I'll be posting all the updates about the Career Development Conference coming up in April. One excellent thing I love about Slack is that it's not only a place to get your questions answered, but you can look at questions that other people have posed. So Matt Campbell asked, can we receive a reminder of what competitions are going to be going on? And I was able to respond that stuff will be coming tomorrow afternoon. So if you had that question also, there it is. So everything in here will be related to the CDC. Another channel that I would recommend everyone join is the Facebook content channel. This is where you have the opportunity to post anything that you would like to see shared on our statewide Facebook page. Please, if you're going to post something on here, I love to see pictures, quotes, information about what the picture is of, some context for the quote, things like that. So go ahead and you're welcome to use this channel to post anything really that you would like to see on our Facebook page. Okay, going a little further down, I have one additional channel that has new content. You can tell because it's bolded on the left-hand side, and that is the JMG updates. So I'm going to go ahead and click there. This is where Kristen posts any updates that are pertinent to the statewide team. So she just posted that we're being honored at Whirlpool African American Network at their signature event. So there's information about the letter she received, excuse me, and then just other updates. You know, she said today she's going to Lansing for some meetings. Valerie responded. She said, "Thanks, Valerie, you're too sweet." And we can also see that Chuck has joined this channel. So I hope you'll all go ahead and join it. One thing you'll see on here is that when someone posts something, you're able to respond or react to it. So you see here, Kristen said, "I'm heading to Lansing today for a meeting with AT&T." Down below it, you see there's a little thumbs up, and 3 different people have given her the thumbs up about this post. So that's just like a reaction. If you go over to the left-hand side of that post, there are 3 different buttons. One is a little smiley face, one is a copy of a chain link, and then one is 3 dots. So if you click on the 3 dots, that'll show you some different options. You can copy it, add a reaction, you can pin it, or you can delete the message. I'm not sure that you guys will have the option to delete. I may just have that. So don't try to go on and deleting everyone's stuff. But under the reactions, there are emojis similar to what if you have an iPhone or whatever type of phone you have that you can add onto your texts. So that's where you can add those reactions. If someone has already added one, you can just go ahead and click that's already there. So on this same one I was talking about that Kristen posted, and there's 5 thumbs up now, I can go ahead and click it and make it 6. All right, if you are interested in creating a new channel, on the left-hand purple bar, again up at the top where it says channels, just to the right of that there's a plus button. You can go ahead and click that to create a new channel. You can select if you would like it to be public or private. If you select private, you have to indicate who you would like to be able to join the channel. So that's what you would do, managers or specialists, if you're creating a channel for your site. Go ahead and add the information, the purpose, who you want to join, and a name for it, and then just hit create. Okay, I'm going to open up the mics again. We're going to move on from channels. So if you have any questions about creating channels, joining channels, anything like that, go ahead and let me know. All right, do we have any questions about channels? All right, doesn't sound like it. So go ahead and mute again. Once again, you can go ahead and post any questions in the chat box if you have questions that come up as we go. Okay, right below channels, like we talked about earlier, is where the direct messages show up. You would want to utilize the direct messages option if you have a question that would be specific just to one person, or if for some reason you didn't want everyone to be able to join. So Allison had a quick question for me. She sent me a direct message and I was able to respond. These logs stay here, so you're able to keep them for future reference, or you can hit the X on the side and delete it if you don't need it anymore. I had a question from Chuck wanting to know how to invite people onto the private channels. So that would be done when you are creating the channel. When you switch it over to private, you select your name and then you invite other people to join. So it will give you a drop-down menu of everyone that is on Slack or on our JMG Slack. You can go through and select people that you would like to add. And then hit create channel. Once the channel is created, you can also add people to it once it's already been created. All right, so he's saying Chuck, you said you're doing it on the iPad app. I'd have to pull it up on my phone and take a look at it, which I can do real quickly. All right, I'll have to, my iPad is not cooperating with me at the moment, Chuck, but I'll look into that and then I'll post it on Slack under the technical assistance page about how to do that. So check back for that later this afternoon. Okay, group messages are just like very similar to direct messages. It's just a direct message that has more than one person. So that's pretty easy to understand. All right, I'm going to go ahead now and switch up to the channel titled Technical Support. I didn't go over this one earlier, but this is where and you can post any questions about ENDMS, any questions about Slack, any questions about anything else related to JMG technical type things. One thing that I love about this, like I've said earlier, is that everyone is able to see the content and the responses to it. So Sarah Johnson had a question about something she was seeing in ENDMS. She did a screenshot to post the picture, and then I was able to respond to her question. So if that's something that you happen to have a similar question about, you would be able to see it on there. So if you do have questions about ENDMS, please post them on the technical support channel. All right, now let's go over just some tips and tricks, things you can do. We already went over how to add reactions to posts. You'll see I've switched over to the general channel. And if you go to comments, or the very bottom, most recent thing is just showing everyone who's joined this channel. If you go up to the post right before that, Allison Serino, who is a specialist, posted something directed at Kristen Harrington. So yep, Alma, just 1 minute. I'll go ahead and unmute you in just a minute. So if you would like to add something directed at a certain person, you're just going to go ahead and put in the @ sign and then start typing their name. So if I wanted to direct it at Thomas Hagenbush, excuse me, Hagenbu, I go ahead and type that and then type hello, and then it would tag him. I'm not going to post it because that's not really something I would put on the general channel. So I'll go ahead and delete that. All right, so I'm going to open it up for questions here real quick. Any questions so far at this point?
Beth?
Yes.
This is Erin in Muskegon.
Hi.
I started to type a question. Hi. I'm just wondering, because there's so many channels, is there, I guess, what is the rule of thumb as to how to where things are posted? Like, say, if something seems like it could be an update, or it could apply to managers, or it could be, I'm trying to minimize how many places I look to decide if I'm all caught up on everything or not in relation to JAG. So is there kind of a rule of thumb, or if it applies to several, say, channels, does it get posted in several areas?
Right, you can post it in more than one if you want to ensure that the correct people are going to see it. If you're posting something and you're not sure which one to put it in, but you know there's a certain person you want to see it, you can always tag them using that @ sign and then typing their name. A majority of the under the tab JMG updates, a lot of that stuff is going to be posted by Kristen. Anyone is welcome to post on there, but if you go up to next to the search bar, the little I, and you find the channel details, which is where you will see the purpose of that channel. It says the statewide team will use this channel to provide strategic updates that are beneficial FYIs to all team members. So this channel would be more for Kristen, Jan, or myself to post something that's just a general update to everyone. So if you ever have a question about the purpose of a channel, that would be the first place I would look under that about or info section on the channel. Did that answer your question?
All right. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and mute again. So I just went over how to tag someone. Before I go on and show any other little stuff here, I'm going to show you all a channel that I would like you to join just for today, just for the purpose of this training, and it's a channel I just titled Training. So this is a place you can try out different stuff, you can practice posting pictures or a document. So if everyone could just go ahead who's on right now, go ahead to Browse All Channels, scroll down and find the one titled Training, and then you can just go ahead and join that channel. Once you're on there, you can practice tagging people. When someone tags you in a post, you will get a notification about that. So if someone wants to go ahead and tag me real quick in something, I can show you how I'll be notified. So if anyone would go ahead and just type anything with my name tagged on it. Okay, perfect. So James Kelly, oh, unfortunately it doesn't show up because I'm already in the channel. So that example didn't work. If you're not in a channel, and something is posted. So here you saw the training channel turned up red, or excuse me, turned up bolded. If you are tagged in something that you're not currently looking at, a red number will show up. So under, let's see here. And the same is true for a direct message. If someone direct messages you, it'll show up with a red next to it also. Okay, so go ahead. It looks like everyone is practicing tagging people. Another thing you can practice on this channel is using the hashtag. So if you are typing something, you can go ahead and include a hashtag. So that just groups stuff essentially. So there's no rule of thumb really about what to include on a hashtag. Let me see, I'm looking through my notes here. Okay, so another thing you can go ahead and practice on here is adding pictures or adding documents. So if you look at where you're posting, there's a little plus sign right to the left of where you type. You can select upload a file, create a snippet, or create a post. So if I want to create a snippet, you can just type something. You can choose where you want to share it. That's great for if you've kind of lost track of what channel you're currently in. You can just double check you're in the right one. You can upload a file this way also. So say I wanted to include, I wanted to send you all a picture of a tulip. I could just do that and then hit upload. And there I have a photo. You can also drag and drop documents. So I'm going to go ahead and move my screen for a minute here so that you're able to see my other screen. Okay, so if you would like to drag and drop a document, you can just go ahead and find whatever it is that you want to send. Say I want to use that same tulip photo, but rather than searching and finding it, I just want to drag and drop it. So I can just drag it. Once you hover it over, it'll say drop upload into Slack. So you can just go ahead. I just drug it and dropped it here. You can add a little comment and then upload. Okay, say tulips are also your favorite flower. You might go ahead and choose to add a reaction to that post. So you can go over, scroll through, there's probably flowers in here somewhere. You could add a tulip to it, or perhaps a thumbs up. You know, whatever you'd like to do. Okay, I mentioned earlier that you can pin documents or star documents. So on this training channel, I'm going to go ahead and open up that information bar on the side where it shows the name of the channel. Okay, I'm just looking at Matt's comment. I'll come back to your question, Matt. So on the channel details, see where it says pinned items and there's currently nothing there. If I wanted to pin the picture of this flower, say, then it would show up on the side here for everyone to view as a relevant document to this channel. So say in the CDC channel, I will be pinning our invitations. I'll probably pin the agenda once I have it ready, any documents that people are going to be coming to this channel looking for. You can also star documents. So I'm going back to the training channel here, where you can see over on the side I pinned the picture of flowers. So if I wanted to star this document, I could go ahead and do that, and then it makes it easier for me to find later when I'm coming back looking for it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open it up again if there are any questions now that we've had a little more time to play around. All right, does anyone have any questions right now?
Because Melissa did what she was supposed to. I told her, if you ever have a problem, you call me immediately before you walk on into the job. And she did.
Okay, so I'm not hearing any questions right now, so go ahead and mute again. Okay, so going back to Matt's question, Matt had asked, is there a good way to insert a hyperlink to a relevant site? Let me see. Not that I know of beyond just posting the full link. If I find a way to do it, or that would be a good question to post under technical support, and maybe someone else knows how to do it and can post some information back on that. Okay, so I've gone over the basics of Slack, basically what we're going to use it for. I wanted to let you know that you can also, on your desktop, when you log in, it should give you an option to activate notifications, which would mean something pops up on your screen every time there's an update. That's obviously optional to you if you want to go ahead and do it. If you want to be notified all the time of new updates, there's also an option to download the app onto your computer. So I'm going to just show you how to do that real quickly. Basically, it would make it so that Slack is running in the background all the time, so you don't have to log in your web browser. It would just automatically be logged in. So I'm going to go over how to do that real quickly. When you are on, it doesn't matter what channel you're on, but in the upper left-hand side where it says Jobs for MI Grads and your name, you're going to go ahead and click on that. And then there's an option to get the Slack apps. So you would go ahead and click on that, and it gives you the link to download the desktop app. It also shows you how to download the mobile app, but I'm assuming you'd want to do that from your phone or iPad if you choose to do that. Okay, another thing I wanted to show now that everyone's logged in, if you can just go ahead and, like I mentioned earlier about updating your profile, it's a lot easier if we can kind of see who we're talking to, chatting with. You can see here Renee has put a picture already, and when you hover it, over that, it enlarges. So if everyone wants to just go ahead when you get a chance, add a picture if you want to. Make sure you put in your job title, where you're working, or your location. All right. As I said, as questions come up as you're using Slack, feel free to post any questions under that technical support channel. Please encourage your other JMG coworkers to utilize this tool. A lot of information is going to be pushed out to you guys only on Slack rather than on Slack and email or on email. So it's really going to be important that you're checking regularly, just leaving it running in the background, however you choose to do it. An example of that would be, like I said, for the CDC, a lot of that information is going to be pushed to you guys only through Slack. And what was the other one here? Also, a bunch of scholarship opportunities. As I've been getting those, I'm posting them to general. That would be a good example of something you could post on the general channel if you know of a scholarship opportunity to share there. Or if it's only relevant to specialists, you could share it under the specialist channel, which I posted a couple yesterday. So you can log in and take a look at those. One other tool that I want to show you before we wrap up for today is once again over on that left-hand side. There is, I've already mentioned the little I button, which you can click to get the channel information. But there's also, to the right-hand side of the search bar, there is an @ sign. This is something you can click on if you want to see any place that you've been mentioned. So if you mention someone in a comment, that basically means like, hey, I was just tagging your name to make sure you saw this type thing, or it's directed at someone. So if, say, you've been out of the office for a week and you want to log in and figure out, rather than scrolling through everything, you just want to see what stuff is important to you, you can click on that @ sign and find anywhere that you have been mentioned. So you can see today James Kelly tagged me. He said, tag, you're it. So I can see that, and stuff from a couple days ago where Kristen tagged me, Thomas tagged me in something. I can scroll through and see anything that anyone tagged me in. The next to that, there's starred items. So remember a couple minutes ago when I said I'm going to star that tulip photo? That's where that photo shows up for me to go back and find it later. So if someone posts something, say it's a scholarship opportunity and you really don't have time to look at it right now, you can star that item. It'll be saved over here under your starred items, and you can come back to it when you're ready to take some time to look at it. And then when you're finished, you can just unstar it and it will no longer show up there. If you want to see who else, if you want to take a look at other people's profiles, that'll show up under Team Directory. You can see the green dot indicates that someone is online. If you want to send someone a private message, you can just click on their name, click message, and it'll pop up. I'm just going to say, hi, Carrie. So that's an easy way to find someone to send a direct message, or you can just hit the little plus sign on the side. So that kind of wraps up the content that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to open it up one more time if there are any more questions before we sign off. As stuff comes up, like I said, go ahead and post it on that technical channel, and we'll do our best to answer it as we go along. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute. This is kind of your last chance for questions or comments for today. So go ahead if you have any questions.
This is Lester. I don't have a question, but I do have a comment.
Okay.
I think this was very helpful.
Good.
In terms of the Slack and operating it, because I too, when I would go on, there's so much fear and wondering who would see what, when I just wanted to direct the message to a few people and not to the whole mass. So going over it, this process helped me be able to identify and be able to use it a lot more effectively.
Excellent. Thanks, Lester. I'm glad you found it beneficial. And I'd be happy to host another training in the future if there are certain aspects of Slack that you have questions about, or you can always call me anytime if you have questions that come up. All right, if there are no more questions for today, we can go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate you guys all signing on today. I encourage you to start using Slack today, keep using it tomorrow, sign on next week so that you get in the habit of using it. And once you are using it, I believe everyone is going to see the value in it and the ease of use. It really, if you can navigate Facebook or anything else like that, it's 10 times simpler than Facebook. So once you get in the hang of remembering to log on, remembering to check for information here, I think everyone is going to find it to be an excellent, excellent, valuable addition to our JMG team. So thank you guys so much for taking the time today to log on. I've been recording the webinar, so I'll have it posted on our Dropbox. So if you need a link to that, let me know. I would be happy to send it to you if for some reason you don't have it already. And if you had people on your team who were not able to attend today, please make sure they check it out so that we can get everyone online and active with this tool. So thank you guys for joining today and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.